Good morning. Hi, how are you doing? Okay, today we're going to have a little discussion on something I was busting it up with one of my girlfriends, right? And she was raised Baptist. So coming across with my path or whatever, and her trying to understand and what I believe and all that, kind of deterred her a lot away from Christianity and any type of domination of it at all. But another thing is the fear that people have of things they don't understand. And what I'm going to explain to people is you got to understand one thing. Yes, the Illuminati is real and in fact. Actually, my family bloodline goes completely through it. But there's a respect level I have though for those who are in Illuminati and are very, I mean, they can't talk about certain things, but I know like the different handshakes and signals they give and symbolism behind everything and all that. So I have a great knowledge of their type of communication with one another that allow each other to know we are brothers. But the Luciferian consciousness, now I'm not in Luciferian consciousness because I do not need another being to tell me that they can make me what I already was created to be. Even though part of my DNA is created to be of a slave race, when you fuck up and give too much of a good thing, when you mix too many genetics up and now make me as powerful to have genetics from all four of the nations, the fire, the earth, the air, and the water, you made me a goddess above all high. So I don't need another being to tell me they can make me what I am already. I don't need nobody else to enlighten and open up my chakra. But I do have to give respect, high respect, to those who will let you know. One of my favorites is, yes, JayZ. I love his music. And I'm tired of people just bobbing their heads to beats and stuff like that and really don't know what the heck they listening to. And when my girlfriend was talking about, I was listening to his words and stuff like that. Yeah, he made his bid with the belly of the beast, this, that, and third. Um, but I was trying to explain. Did you actually listen to even the new song? Because I like where he says how he is a god, but he's on this earth and now is reduced to a king level and things like that. I was like, there's certain things that his knowledge and he kicks through the words in his songs that you can't grasp. Same thing with Kanye. Some of y'all can't grasp that type of knowledge. Yes, and their practices and whatever, there are some things that are very taboo to you guys. But I still respect all practices. I learn about all practices. I might not agree with everything somebody does, but I respect somebody's practice and the reasons why, because if they're logically following it and this is a consciousness of their own into continuing to following it and not being on some influential cult, there's a difference. Most of your Pentecostal churches are running cults. I have to tell you something. That whole speaking tongues, you don't know what the heck you're doing. You're inviting. Now, I'm a spiritualist where I can feel spirits and they're all around. Trust me. And I know the differentials in spirits. There are a lot of different types of energies that pulsate around you. And you don't know what you're getting into when you're starting to speak languages that you don't understand and you can't interpret. And we barely speak a correct language now. We have a language that is so broken down from ancient languages and so depleted and so meaningless compared to the other languages, where the other languages, every letter had a meaning. With us, barely our words have a good meaning. You ever notice in the Webster Dictionary is getting a little smaller in its definitions and being more specific and driven into his definitions. And even sometimes you'll see it referred and refer from one word to refer to another word to refer to another word, or even define itself with its own word. That's how dumbed down our language had got. And now you're speaking an ancient language that even every letter has a specific meaning, and you don't know what the fuck you're saying. And then you're wondering why, after you accept this religion, turmoil happens. You invited so much shit into your life. You asked for it. You verbally invited these beings to go with you on your paths and guide you on your paths and to enlighten you. This is what you did when you decided to speak in tongues in these Christian churches. If you don't know what you're saying, I suggest you not say it, because tongues go way back into the crafts. It's a craft. When the Levites spoke in tongues, they did it around an altar and did a sacrifice of a young lamb or any type of, you had to have a pure sacrifice on the altar. But you notice they light the incense, they take the blood, they rub it all over their body and start speaking in tongues. This is a craft, and it's being exercised in the churches. And people thinking, oh, I'm just full with the Holy Spirit, it feels so good. You're filled with a spirit, but you don't know the divinity behind that spirit. You don't know what strand this energy comes from and what kind of power and what kind of influence you're going to bring about your life by keep on calling upon these spirits. You have to realize even the name that you called Jesus wasn't his name. Isa was never called Jesus back then. Jesus is not a legitimate Hebrew term because J was introduced when Latin came and it was pulled from the Y. So I have to ask y'all to start listening and watch a lot of the details in between movies and things like that, because a lot of the industry is Illuminati based. Not the local industry. It's not everybody starting to get their own thing and everything. But if you're in mainstream, I'm sorry, there's some things you end up getting into, some things you'll learn. But it doesn't, who are we to say what's right and what's wrong? The bottom line is, in every belief, it goes on and believing the same thing into a greatness, to a higher ability. It's just the way we try to seek that higher ability. That's all. So take your time and listen to the words of the songs that y'all so bobbing y'all heads and dancing to. Start watching really the whole concept behind the artist's mind that made some of these movies and music.